Hey everybody, Booney of Locked On A's on YouTube and Twitter asked me to respond to this tweet by Chris Maathuis of Sports 8 in Las Vegas, where he writes, Oakland's interim mayor, talking about Kevin Jenkins, is delaying the release of a deeply consequential two-year budget proposal that had been expected to detail how the city would balance a looming $265 million budget shortfall. Yet politicians told the A's, the Oakland A's, they would help them build a multi-billion-dollar baseball stadium just 2 years ago. They don't have the money to buy home plate. Shaking my head. First of all, Chris, you're mixing apples and oranges. The money for Howard Terminal basically breaks down. The A's were going to pay for the structure, which was going to clock in at about almost $2 billion when all is said and done, and the city was planning actually to subsidize or provide $1 billion in bond proceeds for infrastructure, and they had a limit of $2.7 billion in the amount of tax increment money they were going to use to apply to the project. Now, how do I know this? Is that I have a copy of the Waterfront Ballpark District Draft Infrastructure Financing Plan. That's a, by law, document that has to be produced when you're creating an enhanced infrastructure financing district. As you can see, it reads, after providing an allowance for variance in future inflation, it has been determined that the total nominal dollar amount of project tax increment to be allocated to this will be Howard Terminal, EIFD, from the project areas 1 through 15 over the life of the EIFD, which is 45 years, shall not exceed $2.7 billion. And the project area 16 over its life shall not exceed $900 million. And project area 17 should not exceed $138 million. The EIFD cash flow projection, assuming these factors, is set forth in Exhibit D. So the bottom line is they were committing a hefty, almost $3 billion in subsidy to the project, and also said right here that down here that in issuing bonds, the EIFD shall comply with the provisions of, well, that's not what I'm trying to show you. It's right here. Excuse me. Right there. And, sorry, there it is. Yeah, right here. It reads here, approximately $1 billion of bond proceeds is estimated to be available to finance off-site affordable housing costs, on-site public infrastructure, parks, and open space improvements, eligible on-site affordable housing costs, and off-site public infrastructure over the EIFD life. Okay, that's what it reads. If you scroll down more here, I will show you. So there, right there, see? Over the EIFD lifetime through multiple scenarios, I should say scenarios, issuances, bond issuances. And so $1 billion of bond proceeds, that's upfront money based on a total revenue stream that they estimate will be over $2.7 billion. Now, this document was produced in, let's see here, it won't let me go up here, but it was produced, this document was written and published April of 2023. All right, let's go all the way up to see the date through this document. And I found it by accident, serendipitously, in an internet search. And I saved it on my computer, and always refer to it when the city says, well, it didn't have enough money. The problem is that the city doesn't know how to do tax increment financing. And so even this calculation had mistakes because they were basing their estimates in property tax revenue available on a 2% increase. That's it. And when you turn land over, that adds to the upward increase of property values. And there's also what's called unsecured property, like trucks and airplanes and so on, depending on the shape of the EIFD. But this date was April 2023. This is the same month that the Oakland A's were in Las Vegas, Carson City, before the Nevada legislature negotiating on the legislation that will cause the A's to move from Oakland to Las Vegas, all right? So the city of Oakland has slowed around with Century Urban. This is a draft document, meaning it's incomplete, all right? It's slowed around. So when you say Howard Terminal was ready to go, it was never ready to go because they never finished the documents. This is an incomplete infrastructure financing plan. There's no development agreement, meaning no entitlements. It wasn't ready at all. And yet Shang and her staff spent a lot of time lying to people about it just to save face rather than telling the truth. That's why on the 25th of November of 2021, I simply gave up and said, hey, the A should go to Las Vegas because the city doesn't know how to do tax increment financing. I'm the person that told Dave Cobble to use tax increment financing. He created with Maathuis Skinner, SB 293 Skinner. And Dave Cobble will tell you to this day, yeah, he got the idea from me. I gave it to him directly. So hold me responsible, but the city didn't do it right. And yeah, I asked Libby to be a consultant and she didn't hire me. And I told them they were making a ton of mistakes. All right? And that's the way it is. That's what happened. So, Chris, you're wrong. The city did have the money to do tax increment financing. The city didn't have the know-how. You understand what I'm saying? It didn't have the collective know-how because the consultant would sit back and make these mistakes, and the people working with them in-house didn't have enough experience to see what mistakes they were making and then correct them. I did. And yet because I'm the outsider, which is how Oakland does things now, right? They don't listen to anyone but the people that are inside, behind the walls they hire. It's a bunker mentality, and that's why things get screwed up all the time, all right? Because of that, the project literally sat not complete, and it's still not complete. So I don't want anyone telling me, well, they had Howard Terminal ready to go. Howard Terminal was not ready to go. Pull that out of your mind. Thank you. Subscribe to Zenny62 on YouTube and bookmark ZennyReport.com and OaklandNewsOnline.com. Thank you.